All right. Morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Everybody have a good weekend?
Yes.
Yes. All right. For those of you newer to the daily growth calls, once a month, we dedicate an entire week to a topic. And so this week, we're devoting all of our time, Monday through Friday, to mindset mastery. So different days and different topics around mindset. And let me pull this up here. So today, guys, we're going to talk about mindset as a ceiling. So the different ways to think about mindset. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about learn faster, win faster. And this is building a learning-based action plan. It helps you turn books and coaching and questions and experiences into better results. And then day three, we're going to rewrite the story. So we're going to talk about what we call the story busting model. Phenomenal. If you've heard it a million times or if you've never heard it, it's probably one of the best parts of this week. And then day four, we're going to talk about do less, achieve more. Find the vital few actions that drive most of your results. And then we're going to finish day five on my favorite, which is the North Star Blueprint, creating a guiding beacons in each one of your life accounts and how that actually can positively impact your business, personal life, your relationships, all of it. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. And so the format, because this is a module, the format is a little bit different. We are not going to dive into gratitude. We're not going to do recaps. We're going to jump right into the content so we have enough time to go over it. And typically I have Chase on here. So we normally will control the content all the way through, but I may drop some questions for you guys and invite you in to engage. So be prepared for that. All right. So without further ado, let's get started on mindset mastery. Let me pull up my slides here, guys. Hold on. There we go. Full screen and give me a thumbs up if you guys can see this once it launches here. You guys see that? Thumbs up. All right. So today we are going to talk about mindset in general. So we're going to talk about the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And so first, let me read the definition. You guys see it here on the screen. It says attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's response and interpretations of situations. So I want to let that sink in for a second, and I want you guys to think about the word predetermines. Think about that word. So mindset has the definition has the word predetermines in it. That means before the call, before the offer, before the market report drops, your response is already preloaded. Your disposition has already been set. And I understand that like some of you may be sitting back and saying, well, that's not possible. I have a different response based on the actual input coming in. But the reality is most of us have some form of a being open-minded or a growth mindset. And even while having a growth mindset, you can have functions of a fixed mindset. And those are preloaded. The good news is, Chase says this all the time. How does the magician pull the rabbit out of the hat? Anybody got the answer for me? How does the magician pull the rabbit out of the hat?
You got to put it there.
You have to put the rabbit in the hat first. So even though these responses or your response to situations are preloaded, that doesn't mean that you can't choose how you want to respond ahead of time. Choose what type of mindset you're going to take on for all of these situations. Mindset is flexible. It's part of the neuroplasticity of the brain. We can choose to shift or change our mindset or our predisposition. But this isn't a feel good topic today, guys. This is a production topic. Think about this, like two agents get the same lead. They're in the same market. They may even have the same talking track, the same script, but one converts, the other one doesn't. And the difference actually happened before the phone rang. The difference happened in their mindset or their predisposition to how they dealt with the situation. So I'm going to go over what I call the 5 markers or the differences between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. These aren't personality types. These are predisposition and their behaviors. And you can audit yourself on all 5 in the next 20 minutes as we're going through them. So I want you guys, as I'm going through them, I want you to think about where you're at. Now, I said that there's 5, but this is what most people associate with a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, is this right here. Most people stop here when it comes to defining a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, which is growth mindset believes that skills can be developed. A fixed mindset believes that skills are static or their disposition cannot be changed. That's the defining difference between the two. So I'll tell you guys a story. I'm trying to think of the lady's name. Carol Dweck. She did a study at Columbia. She took 2 groups of kids, and they were given the same test, same score. One group of kids, they were praised for being smart. One group of kids, they were praised for working hard. And then they were both offered a choice. They were offered the choice to either do an easy task or a hard one. So, given the praise that they got, one was praised for being smart, one was praised for working hard. Which one do you think each picked? So the choice was an easy task or a hard one. What do you think they picked?
The smart kids pick the easy one.
The smart kids picked the easy one. And my assumption, this is my assumption, and it's, a complete hallucination, but I'm guessing that they picked that because they had a label to protect, right? They're already smart. So they don't want to take the hard test and maybe not show up smart. So why not just take the path of least resistance, the easiest choice, so they can continue to be the smart kids? Whereas the hard workers, they really had nothing to lose. That's my assumption. They're like, well, I'm labeled a hard worker. I'm going to pick the hard one because even if I fail at it, I'm still a hard worker. You guys see what I'm saying? So think of this now through the lens of being an agent. Every agent is protecting some kind of label. And I catch people all the time in coaching on this call sometimes. And, I do it. So no one is immune from this. So let me think of a couple good examples. I'm a relationship guy, or I'm not a numbers person, or I'm bad on the phone. Those are all pre-chose behaviors, if you will, and they're not descriptions, they're actually just permission slips. If you say I'm bad on the phone, what's the permission slip? What are you protecting yourself from with that label?
Making calls.
Making calls. Potentially, you're already saying, "Hey, I'm bad on the phone, so therefore I'm not gonna make the call because I know I won't get a result from it." Right? Or I'm the relationship guy. Like, this is the person that maybe doesn't want to do any cold outreach, doesn't want to call for sale by owners or expireds. They want to go out and network and build relationships. Now, that's not necessarily a bad label to hide behind, but if someone was behind on their goal and the relationships weren't getting them the result, then they could lean into that label and it could be the thing that causes them to fail if they're behind on their goal. So in the same study, Dweck, she told a story of a high school that they replaced failing. So they took failing instead of a failing grade and giving them an F, they gave them a not yet. They gave them a grade of a not yet because fail was a verdict and not yet was a position on the timeline. So I want everybody to think right now of something you're not good at. Type it in the chat. What's something that you would say in sales you're not good at? I'm not good at. Type it in the chat or say it out loud.
Cold calling.
I'm not good at cold calling. Keep going. Social media. I'm not good at social media. What else? Being organized. Ooh. Follow up. I'm not good at follow up. Let's get a couple more. Asking for the business. I love that one. Okay. So all the people that just threw out the I'm not good at's. How do you feel about that particular topic when you say I'm not good at it? Does it feel like there's a roadblock in front of you? Does it feel like you've just made the decision? That's how I feel when I say I'm not good at something. I feel like there's a roadblock. And so here's what I want you to do, and this is what she challenges everybody to do, is put the word yet after saying it. And what does that do? What does putting the word yet after saying I'm not good at? So I'm not good at follow-up yet. What that's doing is it's opening up your mind to understand that skills can be developed. You're telling your subconscious that you're not okay with the final decision. It means you're going to get there. I'm not good at video yet. Clap. I love it. Okay, so, but this is where most people stop, guys. They stop at believe skills can be developed or believe skills are static. That's where they stop with growth and fixed mindset. But I'm going to jump into the other markers because I think it's important for you guys to understand that there's actually 4 more things that we need to wrestle with as it pertains to growth and fixed mindset. So embraces challenges as opportunities. That is a growth mindset disposition. A fixed mindset is avoids challenges. Avoids challenges. So avoidance mostly never looks like avoidance in our business. In fact, a lot of times it looks like productivity. There's CRM cleanup. There's rebuilding the listing presentation. There's reorganizing your database. All of it is a way to not make the call. All of it is a way to avoid the difficult thing, the thing that probably is going to lead us to make more money, but we want to do the productivity busy work instead. And we allow things to get in our way. The hardest conversation on your list today is the one with the most money attached to it. That's the crazy thing about our business. And that's not a coincidence. It's hard because it actually matters. Like those conversations that, and by the way, when I say hard, sometimes what I mean by hard is boring. Sometimes the hard is boring. And that's just the thing. It's boring and it's hard. So, think about Michael Jordan. I don't know if you guys know this, but in his sophomore year, he actually didn't make varsity. The coach put him on the JV team because he wasn't tall enough. There was a taller player. And he played junior varsity for that entire season. Came back the next year, and the rest is history. He made the team. But the version of that story that everybody quotes is he got cut. The version that matters, though, is what he did with the 10 months in between not making the team and actually making the team. And so when we associate ourselves with the thing we're saying, hey, I'm not good at, or I'm going to avoid this thing. It's what we do with the gap that actually can drive us into the challenge versus avoid it. What are you guys hearing when it comes to embracing challenge versus avoiding challenge? Everybody's avoiding the challenge of giving me feedback.
Embracing challenge will carry you forward. Avoiding it will keep you status quo.
Yeah. Yeah. So like do an audit on yourself. Like, are you the same person today that you were a year ago? Are you the same person today that you were 2 years ago? Or are you getting similar results? There's a chance, a pretty strong chance, that you're avoiding challenges. And what does avoidance look like in your week? Name the specific task. What is the thing that you're currently doing because you want to avoid the harder thing? What does it look like? So at the end of this, oh, someone just threw something in the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to it's hard to see the chat and the presentation at the same time. If you don't do the work, you will never move forward. Yeah, it'll never move you forward. Exactly. But here's the thing, guys. And this is the thing that I always get stuck on is we don't slow down enough sometimes to realize that we're doing work to avoid the work that needs to be done. So we don't ever notice that we're actually avoiding the challenge. And that's the piece that I want you guys to pick up on here is what are you doing in your week that feels productive, but that is actually causing you to avoid the real challenge? That's the audit that I want you guys to think about. How are we doing on time? All right, let me go to. All right. So marker number 3 is learns from useful feedback or ignores useful feedback. This is one of my favorites because, I hear this a lot when I'm coaching people or when I'll go teach a class and then people will come up and talk to me at the end and I'll talk to them. And I hear this a lot. I'll hear, yeah, but, or you don't understand because blank, or I already tried that. And right. And what that tells me is that a lot, we're all guilty of this, right? Is we don't realize we're ignoring useful feedback. What we associate with feedback is they told me something, but I'm going to put it through my lens of how I did it. And I'm going to take the position of, oh, I already tried that. That doesn't work. This person who found success in it and is teaching it and is showing me a different way to think of it, I'm not going to look at that part. I'm going to look at yeah, I already tried that. Or yeah, but, or you don't understand, my situation's different. And so I want you guys to think about the word useful. Growth mindset is not absorbing every opinion from every single person. And by the way, there are people out there that do that. They take the opinions of too many people and they put weight into their decision based on that, all of those opinions, versus seeking very defined and fine-tuned feedback. In seeking out the feedback, that's actually diagnostic. It's not flinching from it. It's how you use the feedback to move forward. So let me think here. There's a study, Andres Ericsson's research. They did a study on expert performance. They found that repetition alone doesn't produce improvement. So think about this. If I were shooting a basketball, right, and all I did was stand at the free throw and I just shot it over and over again, what he's saying is that actually isn't going to produce a massive amount of improvement. What does produce it is repetition plus immediate and specific feedback. That's what's going to produce the most amount of results. So you don't get 5 years of experience, you get 1 year repeated 5 times if you're not getting feedback. So that's what daily growth is. This is an opportunity when you guys are coming to daily growth to not only hear us, but also give your feedback, give your engagement, and get useful feedback so you don't repeat the same thing 5 years in a row or the same thing 2 years in a row. The specific feedback is what helps you get different. So back to my free throw, if I'm just shooting over and over again, will I get better at making it? Yeah. But how would I get better faster so I'm not repeating the same thing over and over again? Having someone who's been there, done that, and has better experience tell me how to point my feet. Tell me where my knees should be positioned. Tell me where the ball should be positioned before it goes out of my hand. Like that feedback will inevitably give me a significantly better result. So the mistake is agents treat feedback as a verdict on their worth instead of information about the process. And that's the biggest thing that you can take out of this. And the audit question that I would give you is, where have I gotten feedback recently where I felt like I had to defend my action, my position, or what I do on a daily basis versus actually hearing the feedback and thinking about my process and where I might be able to improve? Because I guarantee you, all of us fall into this trap because our egos get in the way. Our ego wants to say, yeah, but, well, you don't understand. It's different for me. I already tried that. And that's what our ego wants to do because it wants to defend that we know what we're doing. And when you can set aside that ego side of things, then that's where you can actually start to learn from really useful feedback. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but like daily growth, it's 5 days of feedback constantly. We're constantly talking about different ways to think about things, different ways to approach the market, different ways to interact with your business. This is all feedback. So ask yourself, how often are you actually stepping back and looking at the feedback and looking at your process and doing something with it? All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to keep going, guys. So the next one is finds inspiration in others' success versus feels threatened by others' success. And here's the tell, and it's pretty fast. When the top producer's name comes up in the office, what's the first thing out of your mouth, or what's the first thought that you have? A fixed mindset explains it away. And again, guys, I want you guys to understand that I'm literally talking to myself as I'm teaching you guys. We all deal with these challenges and we all have a fixed mindset in some way, shape, or form. It's the awareness of it and the ability to adapt that gives you the growth mindset position. But what's the first thing out of your mouth? A fixed mindset says, oh, well, they bought their leads, or, well, they've been in the business for 20 years. Well, they've got it. They've got that from their old team, or, they're an anomaly, or they have a better connection with the community, or, oh, they have an alumni that they're connected to, whatever. Like when we hear someone succeeding, what are we telling ourselves in our brain? We're trying to justify their success, typically. And if you're not, that's good, because that means that you feel inspiration from other success. And what does that look like? The difference is a growth mindset person hears someone's success and they say something like, I wonder what she does at 8 a.m. that I'm not doing. I wonder what she does for lead gen that I'm not doing. I wonder how often she's calling and following up with people that say they're interested in buying or selling. Yeah, De Niro says, I think that I want to pick their brain. That's 100% right. Growth mindset sees success and is attracted to it. And a growth mindset wants to say, what would it be? What would it look like if I did the things they did? And they try to figure out how to build that into their world, or find the things that align with their life or their business and pull it in. And, we're going to talk about the story model in like 2 days, I think. It's either tomorrow or the next day. And one of the questions in the story busting model is, when we have a reaction to something, like all those, they're doing this, they're only doing this, they're doing this. One of the questions is it true? And then we always say after that, because we can justify and be like, yep, it's true. We say, is it 100% true? And it's because usually the story is about 20% true, and 100% useful for staying where you are. Usually the story only gives 20% of the truth, but it is 100% of the reason why you stay where you are. Or it could be 100% of the reason why you grow, right? You can tell yourself a story that supports your growth. All right, we got a couple more minutes left. Let's jump into the fifth one. If I can get this thing to move. This is my favorite. Correlates failure with winning. A growth mindset sees failure as winning versus correlates failure with losing. This is one of my favorite sayings. I'm going to say anonymous. I don't know who said it, but success is the summit of a mountain of failures. Like you look at if I'm not a sports guy, but I know a little bit about sports. A 300 hitter fails 7 out of 10 times, and yet that person could go to the Hall of Fame. Nobody calls him out for the 70% of the time that he failed. They call him out as elite because in that sport, everybody understands the denominator. And in real estate, we actually have a denominator too. Most agents just never think about it. So if you have a conversation, or if your conversion is 1 in 20 conversations turn into a set appointment or a med appointment, then the 19 no's aren't evidence that you're bad. It's just the price you pay to get to the success. It's the failures that are required inside of this business. And this is why we use like the daily tracker that we have in our free resources, and jump in and grab it if you guys don't have it. The free daily tracker is phenomenal, but it doesn't just track outcomes. It tracks attempts. It tracks how many times you asked for the appointment, how many times you offered a free value resource. It's tracking everything that finds success in all of the failures, because outcomes are just the lag. Attempts and seeking out opportunities in the conversation are all that really matter. So the agent who quits at 8 no's and the agent who closes at the 20th, they had the same exact experience for the first 8 calls. One just decided to keep going. And that's the trick of our business. That's the thing in our business that sets mediocre agents apart from extraordinary agents, is the extraordinary agents just get past the 8 calls. They go to the 20th or however many it takes. And they actually know that number too. So, all right. It's 9:28. I want you guys to do a couple things. I want you to take 10 minutes today and think of all the things that you're not good at that would bless your business if you were. And then write the word yet after it. And then circle the 2 that resonate the most with you. And then find someone who is more successful than you doing, I kind of look at it as like a scale of 1 to 10. If you're a 1, like you maybe are brand new, haven't produced anything, go find someone that's at 2 and go ask for advice or go ask what they do. If you're a 5, go find a 6 or a 7 on their success journey and go ask them. All right. I felt like I talked at you guys for a really long time. What are we hearing? What are some takeaways? Light bulb moments, fixed versus growth mindset.
I really like the yet at the end of the sentence, because it gives you permission to not be perfect and keep moving forward, even if you do fail, to not give up.
Yeah. Well, what it does is it opens up possibilities, right?
Yeah.
I'm not good at period. It is a closed door. I'm not good at period yet is possibilities. Focus on what you're not good at, but don't close the door and add yet, because that will change the way you start to think. Yes, exactly. I love that. Who else?
I think it's just a good reminder of how we talk to ourselves plays a critical role in the actions that we take.
Yeah, I think in all of this, David, I think that's a great point. I think in all of this that we could take out of this is it's within our control. It is a disposition and predetermined, but you can change your predetermined approach. You can change the aspect you have around any one of these topics. Any one of these markers, they're not fixed. Personality is not permanent. I don't know if you guys know that, but we are flexible in how we choose to operate and how we choose to think. It's one of the many things that make humans phenomenal species is we have the ability to be aware and take that awareness and do something with it. Looking at yourself and being honest that we avoid the hard stuff sometimes or a lot. Yes, I agree with that. All right. Anybody else? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will add that if you're having a hard time with figuring out what it is that you're not like good at, or if you've identified it, and if you're like me sometimes and you just like beat yourself up about it too much, seek coaching, because a third party person that doesn't have an emotional investment necessarily, if you will, in you, has like a more of like an outside view, is always the best to try to guide you through to a solution rather than leaving yourself in this little like hole. So coaching is going to be crucial to be able to identify and move past those things.
Yeah, emotion is one of the most powerful things and one of the worst things, meaning emotion can inspire and cause you to act, but emotion can also be an anchor if it's something that you're struggling with, and a coach can help leverage both, right? A coach can take positive emotion and inspiration and pour gasoline on it, and they can take that negative emotion and they can help you lift the anchor, right? They can lighten the load and give you perspective and clarity. So I agree wholeheartedly. Great point, Alex. All right, guys, that's a good one to end on. It's 9:33. Your guys' time's super valuable and important, so I won't keep you any longer. Looking forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow for the continuation of Mindset Mastery. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
See ya.